in my top 50 games in my collection countdown. This is Black Fleet. A lot of pirate-themed games out there, and this one's one of my favorites. It's very simple. It's going to seem like there's a lot going on, but it's really just a pick up and deliver game. It handles, I think it's three or four player. I thought you could play two player, but it's probably not that fun. Two player. So 3 or 4 players, best with 4. Takes about an hour to play. Complexity is high end 2, low end 3, say 12 or up, because there's a lot of detail on some of these fortune cards, and when to make best use of them. But I'll get into that in a second. So you're in control of 3 ships, and during your turn you'll get to move all 3. You will have a pirate ship whose job is to harass the merchant vessels. You will have the merchant ship whose job is to go from port to port along the board. It's one of the bigger boards that comes in a board game box. And there are 5 ports, and each port has different color cubes, and essentially the further you bring them, the more money you'll make. The merchant ships will bring the cubes, and then there are 2 naval vessels, the Navy, that everybody controls, so you can move either one depending on which movement card you get. So during your turn you will play one of your movement cards, and it has various movement ratings on it for the naval vessel, the pirate vessel, and the merchant ship, how far they will move, and if it costs you anything extra, or if you gain a benefit from those in the form of these fortune cards. And these fortune cards are filled with special abilities that let you do extra things, like tidal wave lets you pass through an island space as you're moving, or secret orders, if your Navy ship doesn't move, gain 2 doubloons. So we talked about money. One of the cool things about this game is it actually comes with metal coins, which is a nice touch for a board game. So what do you do with your money? Well, to win the game, you have to pay the ransom for the governor's daughter, and that costs you 20. It costs 10 in the first game because they give you a set of cards for the learning game. So there you have these 5 cards that you have to unlock, and as you can afford them, you'll spend the money and you'll unlock them. And there's a stack of these cards, 5, 8, and they each have a different ability. So gameplay, there's a lot of replayability in this game because you're not all unlocking the same power, and your powers could be very different from game to game, giving you a different game experience. So you unlock each of these powers. First one to once somebody unlocks the governor's daughter, pays the ransom for her, then everybody else finishes the turn, and anyone else that has, at the end of that turn, all the players that have rescued the governor's daughter will then compare how much money they have, and that's the winner of the game. It's a relatively simple game. The pirates will attack the merchant ships, and they'll get a piece of treasure or a piece of the cargo. They'll get 2 doubloons for doing that, and then they can go and bury it in their spots on the map where they can bury their treasure, and they'll get money depending on how tough it is to get to. Could be up to 6, but the 6 value one is right in the middle between where the 2 Navy ships are. Navy ship catches a pirate ship, that player will get 2 gold. So the gold's coming and going, and there's a lot of interaction between all the players during this game. Artwork's great in this game. Good with the kids. I said 12 and up for the complexity, but maybe 10, because there's really not that much going on. So yeah, that's number 25, Black Fleet. Stay tuned for 24 for the kids.